Jai Hind students, hope you all are doing well and working hard for your studies. So we are already on the chapter number 5, that is the morphology of flowering plants, and in that we have covered the modifications of root and stems. Now we are moving to the modification of stem, leaf and its different parts, its structure, its characteristic. But today we have to cover the topic that is about the structure of leaf, its function and its characteristics. So we are going to start first with the structure of leaf. We'll see that how leaf is designed. If you will see this leaf structure, you will come to know that the leaf is actually a flattened place or flattened surface. It is an appendage which is present on the plant or a tree. So this appendage has different parts in it. Let's start with the first part, that is called leaf base. Leaf base is also called as the hypopodium, and this leaf base arises from the stem or from the tree's branch. So either it will get arise from the stem or it will get arise from the branch part of the plant. Now you will see that next to this leaf base there is a stipule. This stipule is a leaf kind of a structure, leafy structure present at the nodal section of the stem from where the leaf arises. The plants which bear stipule are called stipulate, and the plants those who don't bear stipules are called as exstipulate. Just next to this you will see a axillary bud arising over here. So this axillary bud arises just next to the leaf base at the nodal section, right? Now, just next to this, here, this part you can see is the petiole. Petiole is also called as a mesopodium, as you can see over here. So this petiole is also the mesopodium which helps the joining of the lamina and this leaf base. Okay, so petiole is attachment between the margin, between the lamina and between the leaf base. Next to this petiole, you can see this mid structure, interveinal line over here. This line is called as a midrib. Alright, so this midrib is dividing this leaf into two different parts. Just next to this you can see the fine branches present over here which are getting arise from this midrib that are called as the veins. These veins are responsible for carrying the water, the minerals, the vitamins, all the required elements of the plant to get it done its work like the photosynthesis, right? So just next to this, here the entire section of this leaf you can see is called as a lamina, which is also given a name called epipodium. So this epipodium or lamina is the full flattened surface of lamina which gives the work of photosynthesis, respiration, then making food, keeping food, transpiration, all that kind of a work it helps for. This place is called as a margin, and this topmost, the sharp pointed place is called as a apex. So this is total overall structure of the leaf. Now let us see that what are the functions of the leaf. So leaf is basically having two different functions. So they have some primary functions and they are having some secondary functions. So we'll see first about the primary function of the leaf. What you can think, what can be the primary function of the leaf according to you people? Okay, let's see. Primary function, the first very important thing which leaf does is the photosynthesis. It's a photosynthesis. As we need food to get energy, we need food to do work, we need food to do all our life processes, life activities. The same way, the same kind, plants also need energy to perform their activities, perform their all the tasks whatever they are having to do, or all the life processes which they have to do. So for that purpose, the energy is required, and energy comes from this photosynthesis. And this photosynthesis is done because of these leaves. So the leaves are playing very important role over here, which are doing the work of photosynthesis. After this photosynthesis, they are also doing the work of transpiration. Transpiration, as you know, that transpiration means the loss of water. So whatever the amount of water has been utilized by the plant, and after the utilizing them in the photosynthesis, the amount of water which is left, that water goes and that water gets evaporated through this process called transpiration, and in this process ascent of sap is required. Alright, so this is the second function which the leaves do. Third, exchange of gases. So the third, exchange of gases. So the third activity which leaf does is the exchange of gases. As you know, for the process of photosynthesis, leaves gets CO2 from the environment, and after making their food, the amount of oxygen which is left after completing all the life activities, the oxygen which is left is a waste material for the plant. So what it does, it expels it out, it throws it out to the environment. So that kind of a exchange of gases which happens is just because of these leaves. So these are the major roles, major functions, major activities which plants does. So these are the primary functions of them. Next we have to see about the secondary functions. So let us see the secondary functions. Storing food. So one of the very important function which plants leaf does, is to store the food. So the food storing is one of the very important and a primary activity which these leaves are doing. For an example, you can see as on onion. So onion is there, which is going to help the leaf to store the food in it, and is one of the secondary function of the plant. Second, you can see the support. Support, as you can see in some of the climbers plant, those who are the climbers, they have very weak stem. So what happens in them, their leaves get converted into the tendrils. So the tendrils which are there, they help the plant to get support, to get stand and to do its activities. So for that purpose, some of the leaves gets transformed into the tendrils. Next we are having for the protection. So protection is also very much required, as the animals can graze them. Goat, sheep, cow, buffalo, they can graze them. So for the protection purpose also, some of the leaves have got the modifications in the form of fine spicules, fine thorns. In some of the leaves you will see that they develop themselves into a different form that is called as the floral leaves. So floral leaves which you can see, floral leaves are those parts, those sections of the flowering plants which get colorful, which get colorful petals, and these colorful petals are actually meant to attract the pollinators and to reproduce in a better way. These floral leaves are your sepals. These are the petals which are collectively called as calyx and corolla. Next you can see the floating one. So in floating plants, the aquatic plants also, get a waxy coating, and this waxy coat helps them to float on the water surface. So these are some secondary functions of the leaf which have got the modification and are meant so that they can do a better activity, they can do a better performance to save the plant and to get complete all its life activities and life processes. So this is all about the functions and the structure of leaf. Next, we will see about the characteristics of the leaf. Now let us see about the venation, that how venation happens, right? So first let us define that what is venation. Venation is actually the division of veinlets. So as you can see in these two pictures I have made, you can see the midrib is in between, and from that midrib, as here you can see it more clearly, from this midrib so many veinlets are there, right? So the arrangement of all these veinlets, that how they have got arranged in the leaves, study of this or to study this is called as the venation. This pattern is the venation, and now we have to see that what are the different types of the venations or veinlets which we see in our leaves, right? So basically the venation is of two types. One is reticulate and the one is the parallel venation, which we have to study in this, right? So now let's start with the reticulate kind of a venation. Reticulate kind of a venation is generally seen in the dicot plants. In dicots, how you can see that these veinlets are branched and many in number, is a compact net kind of a structure which is just interlinked to each other and present in a separated, all the segregated form, all the segregated places. Everywhere you can see a network of this which is just running interparallel to each other, how you can see over here. So this kind of a structure is called as the reticulate venation, and which you see basically in all the dicot plants or the dicot leaves. Now let us see the parallel venation. In parallel venation you will always see that these veinlets are parallel to each other, as you can see in this, as you can see over here. This kind of a structure you will see in the monocot plants. So the monocot plants, they show you the parallel venation where all these veinlets run parallel to each other. This is the venation which comes in the heading of your lamina. So we study this in the lamina with reference to the midrib, where midrib divides and segregates its all the veins or veinlets which are responsible for transporting water and minerals, right? So further after this, let us see the next division of the leaves. So now we have to see about the phyllotaxy. Phyllotaxy is actually the arrangement of leaves. Now we have to see that how leaves are arranged on a stem, or how they have got the place in the plant's body so that they can work well and in a much better way. So according to the arrangement or pattern of the leaves in the plants, we are having three different kinds of phyllotaxy which we have to study. So if you are asked about what is phyllotaxy, so phyllotaxy in one word you can say that it is the arrangement of the leaves pattern in the plant. So there are the three arrangement of the leaves. First is alternate, second one is opposite, and third one is whorled. From its name only it is very much clear that they may be lying on like this pattern. So for alternate leaves, if you have to see, you can check it out that the leaves which are alternate, for example, if such kind of a structure is present and you will see the leaf like this, then this one, and then this one. Here you can see that at this place is the here leaf, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then it will be here. So if you follow this kind of a pattern in the leaves, this is called as the alternate pattern of the leaves. Happens in the mango, for example, hibiscus is there. The next one is opposite. So opposite, where you will see the leaves are just very much opposite to each other. So if one is at this location, the other one is also going to be at the same location. They are not going to be like alternate, leaving this place and here and then leaving this place and here and like that. They are just going to be the following the opposite, just next to the one leaf pattern. This kind you will see in the jamun, you can see in the rambun creeper too. Next we have to study about the word. So in the word section, in the word phyllotaxy, you will find that the leaves, they are arranged in a word. So many leaves will be all together in a whorl, means in a bunch you will see these kind of leaves. For example, Nerium is there, Estonia is there. These are the different examples for the whorl kind of a phyllotaxy, which is the arrangement of leaves. So now next we have to see about the different modifications of the leaves.